So this picks up from lesson 0 for our spreadsheets. You've already made a spreadsheet, given it a name, put it in a folder, shared it with me, showed you a little bit of navigation stuff on these cells. Now to talk about, I just hit delete by the way, now to talk about some of the real how does a spreadsheet function thing. Generally speaking, there's not a lot of value in just typing in numbers like this. Especially, let's say, if you wanted to do something like the Fibonacci sequence. So let's talk about Fibonacci for a minute. First, what I want you to do is come down here. This sheet, we'll be making more as we go through the lessons. I want to rename it. So do that, come down there. Let's call it Fibonacci. Fibonacci was a mathematician. He was studying different sequences, and he came up with one that uses kind of an interesting idea. It takes two numbers as your first and second members of the sequence. You could call these parameters or seed values if you want. And then every other number in the sequence is built off of that. And the way it works is this. The value of the next cell here is actually equal to the prior two numbers. So this would be equal to 2 plus 3. I mean 2 plus 1. 2 plus 1 gives you 3. So 3 is the next number in the sequence. So far it doesn't look very different than counting. But then this cell will be 3 plus 2, that's 5. And this cell will be 5 plus 3, that's 8. And this cell will be 8 plus 5, it's 13. And then this cell will be 13 plus 8, which I believe is 21. And so forth and so on. Now, if you tried to get the Google Sheets or Excel to guess this, a spreadsheet program to guess this, you could even give them those first 5 numbers. And if you select all of that and pull down, it does not do a good job at all at guessing the Fibonacci sequence. It doesn't recognize this. It doesn't know what's going on. So, no use in doing that. Now, here's one of the great things about spreadsheets is that you can have it do some math for you. The way you have to have it do math is you're going to have to enter what's called a formula. In essence, cell entries, whatever it is you type into cells, fall into 2 main categories. The first category is what I've shown you here, what I call literal entries. I type in a 1, and when I hit enter, it shows me a 1. I type in a 2, I hit enter, it shows me a 2. The second kind of cell entry is called a formula. Formulas work different than literal entries. First thing is to tell the spreadsheet that what you're entering is a formula and not a literal entry, is it always starts with an equal sign. So if you go to a cell, that cell, and you type in equals, you now are telling the spreadsheet to treat this entry differently than it did the others. And what we're going to do now, so you can see how it works, is I'm going to type in 1 plus 2. And I'm going to hit enter. Notice that it is not displaying what I typed in. This one, I typed in a 1 and it shows me a 1. This one, I typed in a 2 and it shows me a 2. They're literal entries. This formula entry, if I double click on it, I can see what was literally typed in by the creator of the spreadsheet. I typed in equals 1 plus 2. The equals tells the spreadsheet this entry is a formula. So rather than displaying what I'm typing in, I want you to display the result of what follows the equal sign. So it's going to perform a mathematical alteration or some kind of programmatic alteration to everything that happens after the equal sign. And when it's done with that formula calculation, it will display the result only. So this, I type in 1 plus 2, it does the math and gives me a 3. I can type this is equal to 2 plus 3. It's going to show me 5. This one is equal to 3 plus 5. It shows me the 8. This is equal to 8 plus 5. The other 2 there. This one is equal to, escape. This one is equal to 13 plus 8. I didn't even notice it was, when I click on this to type something in, I hit the equal sign. Oh, it's suggesting something here. So this is one thing, I didn't even realize it was going to do this. This is one of the things that the spreadsheet will do. It'll try to guess what formula you're trying to write sometimes and make a suggestion. If you want that suggestion, you click Tab. If you don't want that suggestion, you have two options. You can either click this X, it hides the formula suggestion, or you can just start typing what you really want. In this case, it'll be 21 plus 13. So at its simplest, a cell formula can literally be just some math you write down. But really, for this Fibonacci sequence, this doesn't really make it much easier because I don't have an easy way to know what the next one or the next one or the next. I don't know what this one is down here until I've typed in all the others and all of that. So this is not really leveraging the full power of the spreadsheets. What I'm going to do, I'll highlight these and delete them. And I'm going to come up and I'm going to edit this cell formula. Now, I want to show you something. A single click on it does not allow you to edit it here. However, if you look up here, just below the 150% thing, this space in here, this is what's called the formula bar. So when you click on a cell, the formula bar shows you what was typed in by the creator of that spreadsheet. So I typed in a 1 for that cell, a 2 for that cell, and a equals 1 plus 2 for that cell. This is still showing me the result of the formula, but up here, I'm actually seeing the formula I typed in. You can edit your formula here if you like, or you can edit your formula by double-clicking and editing it here. Either of those works once you hit enter, or if you click away, it will usually just take it back to displaying the value of your formula. However, this is not a great formula. And the reason it's not a great formula is it's not taking advantage of what a spreadsheet can do. What we really want here is not to give me 1 plus 2, because if I go back later and change these two parameters, I want it to give me a different sequence. What I really want it is to give me the value found in cell B3 and add to it the value of cell B2. So what this formula does is it looks up cell reference B3, this cell here, pulls the value displayed into here, looks up cell B2, pulls the value of its display, and puts it down here. So it takes the value of B3 plus the value of B2, adds them together, and then we'll display the results. When I hit enter, that gives me a 3. Now you may think, well, this wasn't any easier. I actually typed more than I did before, but here is the value. Here's why this is worthwhile. If I come down here to this bottom corner, that blue dot that allows me to click and copy by dragging, and I do that, it actually changes the formula I wrote for each cell. So while this cell was B3 plus B2, this cell is B4 plus B3. It took the orange one and added 1 to the row value, and the purple one and added 1 to the row. So this is 4 and 3. The next one will be 5 and 4. Let's double check. Double click here. B5 and B4. This one down here, I know it's going to be the two numbers above me. So I know before I even click on this cell that its formula is B11 plus B10. Double click here and we see it is B11 plus B10. So when I clicked and drag it, it changes the cell references in the way that preserves the relative identity of the cells relative to the cell I'm typing in. So here it took the value, and in fact, look, it even gives you some color coding. See, the B3 here is in orange, and there's an orange border around cell B3, and B2 in this formula is in purple, and there's a purple surrounding the B2. So it shows me what it's saying is take the cell right above the one I'm in and add it to the cell 2 above the one I'm in. Down here, again, relative reference, 1 above and 2 above. All of these cells have relative references. Pretty cool. More cool than that is that if I decide to change my parameters, my seed values for Fibonacci, from 1 and 2 to, let's say, 3 and 6, it adjusts automatically because 3 plus 6 is 9, 9 plus 6 is 15, 15 and 9 is 24, 24 and 15 is 30. It does this automatically. In fact, the only real numbers that I have entered, the only literal entries I have, are the two parameters or seed values for the entire Fibonacci sequence. Since I'm making this spreadsheet and I want to understand it later, what I'm going to do now is change the color of the text here to red for those two cells only. All the other cells on the spreadsheet still remain their regular colors. I can type in anything I want. It's going to just be the default, which is black, I believe here. It is default here. Might be a dark gray. But anyway, the point is these two now are in red. This is my way, as the creator of this Fibonacci sequence spreadsheet, to tell the user that you enter numbers here and here, and the remaining values are all results of that. So the Fibonacci sequence that starts with 1 and 2 goes 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21. The Fibonacci sequence that starts with 3 and 6 goes 3, 6, 9, 15, 24. The Fibonacci sequence that starts with 2 and 3, interestingly enough, just pick up on the one that starts with 1 and 2 because 2 and 3 are adjacent. So 2, 3, 5, 8. So I've created a Fibonacci sequence maker. Yay. And I used it using formulas. So everything updates automatically. I call this live update. This is really what a spreadsheet is all about. Fantastic thing that you're able to go type in just your parameters and the remainder of the spreadsheet automatically calculates. I'll wrap this lesson up right here, and then we'll go to something slightly more sophisticated in the next lesson.